Into 25,000 playing poker, Texas Card House is proud to present the $100,000 Guaranteed Valley Poker Open from July 25th to August 5th. $200 buy-in. Day 2 on August 5th with the final table streamed worldwide. For more details, visit texascardhouse.com.
And that huge event actually starts tomorrow. All right, first hand, Monty picking up the ace-king, jumping right in. Welcome everybody to the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. Jack high flop as the ace-jack of rock outflopping the ace-king. $60 in the pot. Rock going with half pot, $30. Not sure if Marty will let go of the ace-king. He does have the ace of diamonds. An ace would actually get Marty in trouble here. Oh, the deuce, so Luis would have hit his set, but he did make the proper fold there. Rock betting 55 now, and I think Marty's finally going to let it go, and does just that. As we are underway here, hand one being won by Rock. And these are the player stack sizes, exactly how much they bought in for. You can see it flash there on the bottom. Rock in for 1,000. Then we have Izzy in seat 3 in for 300. Got Champ at seat 6 in for 400. New York Bob 700. Frankie 780. Seat 1, I believe that is Nick. He's in for 900. Ringo in for 500. Luis also in for 500. And Marty in for 500. So it is a 1-3 no limit holdup. Minimum buy-in is $300. And this is going to be hand number 2 as Marty will fold. Champ with the ace, but it is ace rag and he will throw it away. New York Bob. Rock won the first hand and he's going to be limping here on the second hand. Now, I have been told the players are playing the small blind game. So the small blind game is in effect. It's something that's becoming pretty regular here as part of the stream. Ace 5 deuce rainbow. And it looks like Rock will put in the C-bet with his gut shot straight draw. And he will pick it up. So 2 in a row for Rock. Nice hand. So small blind game, you can see there is already, I believe, $15 on the button. So they are agreeing to the $5 every time the player is on the button. So they will add $5 to the button. That is not a straddle. And that bonus is only available for the small blind in that particular hand. So it really loosens up the small blind range, especially once that stack starts building on the button. So every time somebody's on the button, they will add $5, and that bonus is only available to the small blind of that particular hand. So if the small blind wins the hand, they win the bonus. If not, now they're the button the next hand, and they're adding $5 to it. All right, Frankie with King Queen suited. He will come in for a raise. Looks like 23. And doesn't look like anybody has much to call him with. Izzy will fold the small blind. Marty does have the ace, and he will defend his big blind. Let's see if that brings along New York Bob, and it looks like it is. So everybody with live cards here. The ace high out in front. The King Queen is suited. $73 in the middle. As we will get a flop of Jack high. So New York Bob flopping top pair, and Frankie will put out the C-bet. Mighty with the bottom pair might peel a card here, and does just that. New York Bob I think is just going to put in the call. Doesn't like his kicker. Diamond on the turn for fun? No, it is an ace, so Marty now hitting his ace. 2 pair for Marty, ace is up. And Frankie's going to continue on with the aggression here. That is a black chip, so he puts out 110, and he's picking a bad time to bluff here, as the ace has given Marty 2 pair. Marty has 400 in his stack. He might raise here. No, he just puts in the call. There are 2 spades out there. And New York Bob reluctantly folds, and the jack of diamonds flash in there. So Frankie looking for a 10. You can see he does have 3 outs. There's only 110 folded, so he does have 3 outs. And that's not going to be one of them. Backdoor spades do get there. And we'll see what Marty does. And Marty's going to go all in. Frankie's not going to be able to call. Insta call from him. Insta fold from him. So Marty will take care of the pot. You can see the stack sizes once again. So once again, we are in South Texas, Rio Grande Valley to be exact. 1-3. We are streaming tonight on the secondary channel, Texas Card House. All right, Champ with the fold under the gun. Bob with the King 10 offsuit. Looks like he's going to limp. Frankie with the ace. Just lost last pot. And he will raise to 20. Rock with the suited ace makes the call. And Nick with the jacks only calling. Probably better off raising there, but there is the infamous saying with jacks, there is no right way to play jacks. You can see all the overcards that Nick is going to have to dodge. He's going to have to dodge an ace, a king, and a queen, as Marty has queen 9 of clubs. And he dodges everything, as the flop does come 10 high, over $100 in the pot. And Frankie, once again, with the continuation bet. Looks like Rock will make the call. Does Nick finally raise with the jacks? He did get a 10 high board. And looks like he's reaching for some raisin chips. Looks like 125. This should clear everybody out. New York Bob does have a 10. So he's wondering exactly what Nick has here. He likes his kicker. It is a king kicker. But obviously the board is paired, so put in Nick on the deuce, and he's going to let it go. And that'll do the trick. So apparently that's the right way to play jacks. You wait for the flop to come 10 high, and then you raise. So nice hand for Nick, and they are putting the extra $5 on the button now. So I want to say it's up to $25, I believe. There you go. Marty's going to clean it up and just make it a quarter. We have played 5 hands. Every time the button moves, whoever is on the button adds $5. And that bonus is only available for the small blind in that particular hand. Like I said, it really opens up the small blind range when it gets to like $40 or $50. The small blind starts fighting for that extra bonus. All right, looks like we have a double straddle, as it'll be $10 under the gun. And I believe it is a double straddle. Yes, so 20 to call. Frankie putting on the double straddle. I thought we were playing 1-3 tonight, but we're playing 10-20. Marty on the button. Should be coming in for a raise here. And it looks like it's going to be 60. So 65. So just over 3x. Bob with the ace. We'll see if he lets it go. If Bob was the only one straddling, he would probably call here, but he does have to worry about Frankie. But Frankie doesn't have a hand, so Marty will take it down. So the graphics are correct. We were having some issues on Friday. It wouldn't show the exact stats. It would just say player stacks, and that area was blank. But now something is set up there, and looks like Frankie's going to straddle again. Just had the double straddle last hand. Now we'll do the under the gun straddle. So action will be on Rock. Nine-4 for Nick. Rigo coming in for the raise, the suited ace. No. Oh, yeah. So Rigo didn't realize that there was a straddle, so he was raising to 15, but the dealer notified him that since it was at least half a raise, he does have to put in the min raise. So Rigo thought it was $3. Turned out it was $10. He put 15 out, and that meant he had to re-raise. And Luis with the queens on the button, making it 75. Oh, looks like Frankie came to gamble tonight. He had the double straddle on earlier, the straddle, and now he is calling a 3-bet with 9-8 of clubs. Defended his straddle. And he's going to hit, wow, he's going to hit a monster. As a matter of fact, it is exactly 50-50 if you look at the stats. He flops a pair and a flush draw. So this pot is going to get big. He should be check raising here as Luis puts out the $100 C-bet. Luis was in for 500, and there's the all-in from Frankie, and there's the call. Not sure if they're going to run it once or twice, but I believe they're going to run it twice. No, just once. Oh, and Frankie misses everything. Yes, they are running it twice. And Frankie misses both times. So the queens holding up, running it twice. You could see when all the chips went in the middle, it was exactly 50-50. But Luis manages to avoid a club, a 9, an 8, or running straight cards to get the double up here on hand number 6. Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. Now, if you did see the commercial at the beginning, our big tournament is started tomorrow. The Valley Poker Open, $100,000 prize pool. Begins tomorrow. 2 flights. 2 flights every day. 1 at 12, 1 at 5. And we actually have 3 flights on the weekends as there is a turbo available. So the Valley Poker Open started tomorrow. Tell your friends about it. Make sure you're here for your chance at the $100,000 prize pool. $25K guaranteed for first place. $200 entry. Only a $200 entry. And it looks like Rock will be putting on the straddle. Nick with the AC Deucey. It is suited, so he's going to come along. King Queen for Rigo, he will raise it. It's kind of a small raise, only 25. New York Bob with the Queen 9 offsuit. Frankie out of the big blind with the suited Queen. And Rock comes along with the Jack 8. So 4 ways to the flop, 101. Dalmatians in the middle. And it'll be a king high flop with 2 spades. So Regal, you're 3 better. Actually, he was the initial raiser. He will put out the continuation bet and should take it down. There was a $10 straddle, and Nick caught the $10 under the gun, and Regal raised it and flops top pair. So I did mention the Valley Poker Open. It does start tomorrow. Poodle 956. $200 buy-in, $100,000 prize pool. Great value. Multiple starting flights.
How you been, Bob? How was your trip? It was good, thanks. Yeah, did a lot of driving. We went from Ohio to Michigan to.
Action on Nick under the gun. Rigo just won last 10, coming in for the $15 race. I would say that's going to be a pretty standard open tonight. Luis calling with the suited ace. And I said it earlier, Frankie is here to gamble tonight. And he's actually not in bad shape here. As a matter of fact, he has the second best hand equity-wise right now, just because they are sharing the outs and everybody hidden except him. As Rock hits a 10, Rigo hits the jack, and Luis also hitting the 10. Both Rock and Luis with backdoor flush draws. And there's one of the backdoor draws. So Luis with diamonds. The ace-jack is still out in front, but the board has now paired. Looks like everybody's going to come along. So Luis looking for a diamond. Rigo and Rock. Rock looking for a 10, and Rigo looking for anything else. Oh, wow, the case 10 shows up. So pretty bad beat here for Rigo. I don't think he's going to lose much in the pot. He might lose another 80, but that's going to be it. As the board double pairs. Oh, good fold by Rigo there. He knew somebody had an 8 or a 10, and he was correct. Luis is probably going to raise here. And that's exactly what happens. He raises, Rock calls, and it's going to be a chop pot. And Rigo is letting Nick know, I had ace-jack. They hit their ace. They're no good. So the dealer will chop up the pot. We got Kenny in the box tonight. Kenny Jones. The chat is live on YouTube. As I said, we are streaming on our secondary channel tonight. So if you're still not subscribed to this channel, the main channel, which has a lot of subscribers, which gets a lot of views, is TCH Live. Of course, TCH standing for Texas Card House. That's the main channel. There are 6 different locations for the Texas Card House, 4 of them that stream on YouTube. So just because of the overlay, there is a secondary channel, and we are on that secondary channel tonight. It's called Texas Card House. 3 different words, Texas Card House. It is not the main channel, so if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you take care of that. And it looks like there was a missteal. Yeah. So once again, we are live on the YouTube chat.
And then, like, I look around and there's nothing they had the hand dryers. They didn't have the paper. And there was only one stall, and he was in it. So there was no toilet paper anywhere. I was like, dude, sorry, but there's no paper out here. The guy says to me, you got change for the 20?
All right, under the gun, it'll be Rigo. This is a RFID table, so all of the cards have a little chip, and the circles in front of the players, that's the card reader. Champ coming in for the limp in late position. Looks like there's $40 on the button. Frankie will raise it with his suited king. Rock is going after the bonus. Normally, Rock will fold this hand, king 6 offsuit, but he is in the small blind and he is eligible for the bonus. Flop comes ace high, so Champ will flop top pair. We'll see if he checks it to Frankie. Frankie has been c-betting at a huge rate, and he will put out the continuation bet once again. And I don't think Champ is folding for one bet. Six of spades on the turn. Champ does pick up a straight draw, needing a 5 for a straight. And it looks like Frankie's going to continue on. So it should be interesting to see. I think Champ is going to call. No, Champ raises.
Keeping up with where it's supposed to be? 110 kilometers per hour.
So Valley Poker Open is starting tomorrow. 2 flights Thursday, 3 flights Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then all of next week as well, there is a flight. There are 2 flights every day. Kings for Luis. He had queens earlier. Oh, this is a big raise. Raising it to 55. Is there a straddle? And is Bob calling to 55? Bob is calling to 55 with queen jack off suit. Was there a straddle here? I'm trying to figure out if there was a straddle. I don't think there was a straddle. No straddle, no limp. Wow. So Luis sizing up, way up to 55, and he somehow gets a call. And it'll come 2 hearts. Should be putting out the continuation bet here. 114 in the pot. That's right, because 55 and 55 is 110, and then the small blind and big blind. So he will bet 60. And Bob's not done with this hand. Bob looking for a queen, jack, or 9. It's going to be a heart. Nobody with a heart. But that does not deter Luis, and this should get Bob to fold. 115. Like I said, no player with a heart. Luis raising 55 in middle position. So under the gun +2. So essentially middle position. And Bob just does not believe him. He didn't believe him when he raised 55, and he doesn't believe him now. He's trying to figure out if a bluff will work. And looks like he finally does make the fold. So Luis with queens and Luis with kings winning 2 decent pots. And nobody has won the small blind game, so Nick will add $5 to it, and now that is up to $50. The bonus, Marty will put on the $10 straddle under the gun. Oh, no, gotta slide the cards over. This is gonna be a misdeal. They dealt to Nick first, and Nick's the button. Let's see if they catch it. We're on a 15-minute. Yeah. I think they just caught that. Yeah, so I can't even leave the booth and let them know because this action happened 15 minutes ago. So it looks like they're just gonna play it out. Nobody catching it. So Bob coming in for the $45 raise. There was a $10 straddle. Rock with the 9-8 suited. So Nick's hand would have been Rigo's hand because Nick got the cards first. So everybody's cards would have been to the left. Rigo going after the bonus is $50 on that button. And Marty with the 4 deuce of spades. I think he's going to call. No. So king, queen in position. Rigo looking for a 5. And Bob will flop an open ender. Rock flopping a pair and a straight draw. And Rigo, who started the hand with the best hand, no longer has that. Rock's going to take a shot, but New York Bob is going to call. Rock does not want to see a 9, as that'll give New York Bob, give New York Bob a straight. So Rock with 2 pair. The flush draw did complete. I think that's going to slow down the action here. No, Rock bets $100, and New York Bob's going all in. Kind of thought Rock would check the turn, considering the flush draw got there, and now it is a 4-liner to a straight, but it did make him 2 pair. So I think he saw he had 2 pair. I don't think he analyzed the board when he bet the $100. He just saw he had 2 pair. So Rock needs a 9 or an 8. Unfortunately, 2 of them have been folded, so there's only 2 left in the deck. So not exactly sure how the software works, but it is showing Rock has 9%, but that's based upon 4 outs and not 2 outs. Rock does make the fold. Bob shows him the king, queen. And New York Bob will get on the board. So just in case, if you missed the commercial earlier, big event coming up tomorrow. Let us break it down. So Valley Poker Open, July 25th through August 5th. So essentially 2 weeks of starting flights. Begins tomorrow, Thursday. First flight, day 1A, 12 p.m. Day 1B, 5 p.m. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then every day next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. So multiple flights for your chance to win. Queen, jack of clubs for Luis comes in for the raise. Nick calling with the worst queen. And Rigo has the 4-5. Izzy coming in, going after the $55 bonus that he is eligible for since he's out of the small blind. 644. So Rigo flopping trips. I guess he used something when he caught the $20 raise on the button. He's not going to slow play it. He will bet 30 bucks. Nobody really has anything to call him with. There's also high hands going on right now, as a matter of fact. At 6 o'clock when we started, it was up to $1,100. So there are progressive high hands here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., $100 every hour. It is aces full of tens or better. Aces full of tens or better. And it rolls over until it gets hit. So it's at over $1,000 right now at this exact minute. It's over $1,000 as it hasn't been hit in 11 hours. It's Frankie's turn with the fives, and he will raise it up. Looks like 18. Rock with the ace-queen just calling. Marty might defend light because there's $60 on the button for him, and that's exactly what he's doing. And Luis with the 4-5 of hearts. 4-5 worked last hand. We'll see if it works again. Wow. So the high hand is in play here. So we might see a high hand on stream. Luis flopping a pair and a straight flush draw. Open-ended straight flush draw. So Frankie has the same straight draw. And hopefully Luis just plays it slow here, and that's what he's doing. As he is eligible for the high hand, it's over $1,000. So he's going to hit a straight, but Frankie also hit in the straight. I don't think Frankie's going to slow down here. Frankie's getting pre-rolled as a heart will give Luis the win. They both have the same hand right now. They're both playing the straight with the fives. Kind of want to see Luis just call again. I'm not sure if he knows that the high hand is over $1,000. You don't want to raise here and have your opponent fold. It's kind of a weird dynamic you have to take into account. It looks like Luis is playing it perfect here. Luis looking for a 3 of hearts or an 8 of hearts. And it's going to be a chop pot after all that drama, as both players will chop it up. The only question is how much more money will go into the pot. So Luis checking all the way. And I think he's basically calling any bet here. Yeah, it's a $150 bet. The only hand that beats him is the Chad Johnson, the 8-5. But he is not throwing his hand away. I was going to say there's the call, but he actually raised, and Frankie immediately calls, and Frankie had the pocket fives. He had the removal to the 8-5. So even though Luis is winning half the pot, he feels like he lost. And he had a chance of that high hand. High hand here at the Texas Card House during the week. And the reason why it's over $1,000, one, both hold cards must play. So if somebody has like an 8-3 and there's 3 threes on the board, well, that's not going to work because both the cards aren't playing. Well, actually, that would work if it was less than 8 on the board. So 8 deuce if they have 8 deuce and there's 3 deuces on the board, or 3 8s on the board, excuse me. So both hold cards must play. Also, it must be aces full of tens or better. And then the last reason why is it starts rolling over at 10 in the morning. Doors open here at the Texas Card House every day at 9 a.m. And that's when they start qualifying for the high hand. Even if there's no game going, the $100 gets added. So it could be 10 in the morning and 2 people could be here, not necessarily playing, just hanging out, just socializing. And that $100 will get added every hour, whether a game is running or not. As long as the doors are open, the $100 gets added. And that's one of the reasons why, essentially on a, at least twice a week, it'll get up to over $1,000. Texas Card House, where it pays to play. Ten-eye flop, champ with the 10, and he will be putting in the bet. Makes it 35, just over half pot. I don't think anybody, well, Nick with the gut shot needs a 6 for the straight, but he will make the fold. Izzy Amati folding. And Luis looking for a diamond, looking for an 8, looking for a 9. And there's a 4, so Luis still with just ace high here. If champ puts out another bet, that should take care of it, and that's exactly what happens. So high hands, all sorts of action here at the Texas Card House. So during the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, high hands with rollover, $100 high hands. And then beginning tomorrow, Thursday, for essentially 2 weeks, because it's going to be this weekend and next weekend, you can qualify beginning tomorrow. At 12 p.m., there will be a flight for the Valley Poker Open.
Promised himself he wouldn't pay that. He already promised himself on the road here he was not going to pay that.
So the small blind still has not won, which means the small blind game is probably up to like 75 already. They put out $5 every hand essentially. Is this a double straddle? I think this is a double straddle. Yeah, it's a double straddle. Rock with the double straddle, and he's gonna check his option with the ace. And Frankie out flopping him, hitting the king. And he's just gonna check it. Rock will check behind. Frankie should be putting some money in the pot now. Bets $30, and that'll take care of it.
¿Dólares en $25,000 jugando al póker? Texas Card House se enorgullece en presentar el Valley Open de $100,000 del 25 de julio al 5 de agosto. Solo $200 de inscripción. El segundo día será el 5 de agosto, con la mesa final transmitida en vivo a nivel mundial. Visita texascardhouse.com para más información.
So there's the information in Spanish for all of our Spanish listeners tonight in regards to the Valley Poker Open. This is one of the biggest poker tournaments down here in this area. And make sure you're a part of it. All right, Madi coming in for the raise with the ace-8 of spades. Luis catching cards tonight. Second time he has queens, he will put out the 3-bet. And I think Madi's going to come along. And it looks like New York Bob is also going to come along. New York Bob put in on the sunglasses. Oh, Frankie might put out the 4-bet here. No, he just calls. So Madi with the suited ace isn't going anywhere. So Luis over 50% to win here, 52 to be exact, against 3 different opponents. And New York Bob flopping a jack. There's a king on the board. Let's see if Luis still puts out a continuation bet. $180 in the pot. Luis is going to check it. Oh, New York Bob hitting the jack. 180 in the pot. New York Bob betted 75. I think Luis is going to call one time. I think. I don't think you can give up on queens just yet. But we'll see what he does. No, he gave up on him. So making the right fold. I would have probably just called one more time, but Luis figured he either has the king or he has the jack, and both those cards beat him. RFI, this is race first in. A stat on the bottom. 3 players still have not been the first ones to initialize the race. I really don't like to talk about these stats until we've seen at least 20 hands. But they are flashing up on the screen for you to see. Nick under the gun. Marty with the $20 raise. And essentially the player's not scanning the cards properly, so that's what the little delay is. Keep in mind there is the little circles in front of each players, and that's where the card reader is. So the dealer does their best job to pitch the cards there. And sometimes the players grab them too early. Looks like got a cleanup on aisle 3. So Maria. Gracias, Maria. So I'm not sure if something spilled there or exactly what happened, but Maria Lopez with the cleanup. Appreciate it. Ace, King, 8, 2 hearts on the flop. Madi flopping a gut shot, but it's Izzy. Just had his little spot clean, so he's feeling good. He is representing the ace or the king. Madi making the call with his gut shot. He also has some backdoor flush draws. And there's the queen. So now Madi takes the lead, but he's just going to check it back. Flush draw gets there. Let's see if Izzy tries to represent it. It might work. $150 in the pot, like $100 would work. And I think that's what he did. Let's see what the bet is here. Oh, he shows the bluff. How much did he bet? Oh, he only bet $50. Wow. Madi insta-folded, put him on an ace, a king, or a heart. And he was not correct. That's the bad news. The good news is he seems to be enjoying his massage, as tableside massages are available here at the Texas Card House. It is $1 a minute. $1 a minute, so you can relax, play cards, get a massage, and maybe even win some money. Looks like there is a button straddle on, as there is chips on top of the button for the small blind game, but the chips in front of the button is going to be for the actual straddle. So Frankie with the $10 straddle on the button, Nick in the big blind with the ace will make the call. And looks like it's going to fold around to Frankie. So it's going to be heads up here. And he also has an ace, and he is going to raise it. And Nick instantly folds. Frankie showing the 3. And Rock should be adding some chips onto that button. And that's up to probably 80 bucks. I think it's up to $80. There's the VPIP. 4 players, at least 50% on the VPIP. Voluntarily put money in the pot. I think somebody might have won the small blind game and we missed it. Or I missed it. You missed it too. You could have told me in the comments. YouTube chat is available. YouTube chat is available. Yeah, somebody won because there's only $20 on there now. So 4 hands ago. Nick going after that $20. And Rigo defending his big blind. So Frankie raising in position, but he does have the best hand here. And he will flop the best hand as well with the 10. Nobody with diamonds. So this small bet should get everybody to fold. And that's exactly what happens. So there are some couple of cool bonuses for the Valley Poker Open. It is a $200 entry fee. There will be a $1,500 bonus for the top 3 players with the most bags. Now you do take your best bag forward. However, you do get a $1,500 bonus on the most bags. Also, the top 5 players with the most entries will get that $1,500 bonus as well. More details can be found on texascardhouse.com. Ace King for Izzy. How big is the raise going to be? Oh, Ace King for Marty. So Marty with the straddle. Normally when the straddler raises, they get less credit. And Izzy has a good hand too, so Izzy just bought him for $300. He is up right now. Plus, he just bluffed Marty a couple of hands ago. So you know he's factoring that in. He just might go all in here and not want to play the hand out of position. And that's exactly what he does. Marty will snap call him, and Izzy will see the bad news. So Izzy going to have to get very lucky here. Oh, he's looking for a queen. Izzy needs a queen. Oh, a club too. A club works. No. So Marty will double up. So that was a very interesting dynamic. I'm not saying that the GTO and the solvers aren't a good thing to have or good thing to know, but one of the things they do not take into account is the table dynamic. And there was definitely a table dynamic there between Marty and Izzy, as Izzy had bluffed Marty a couple of hands before with the jack high and shown it to him. And then Marty had straddled this hand. So based on those 2 factors, Izzy did not give Marty credit for a hand and went all in with the ace king. So Izzy's gonna go to the ATM, I believe, to try to get some more money. The second time the button gets the first cards. So let me send them a message. I'm not sure if they realize we're on a 15-minute delay, so let us run the commercial first. Here we go. So I'm just gonna let the dealer know. Like I said, we're on a 15-minute delay here, so.
You were the last one to add. It was 60 in there. It's only 20 more. You very well could have had two pens.
BRB.
They did the 1-3 over. Or what did you do? Yes, I think they played 1-3 over. They did a 1-3 Fuck me up, but I'm just saying I was that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what he said. He said, block me out, but I'll do that. Or if he said, don't block me. I don't know. No.
Verify.
Did he clock out? Yeah, he clocked out. He asked to clock out, right? Well, on the table, he was clocked out. No, but he asked to be clocked out. Well, I don't know. I just saw an OPC.
Okay. Got the problem corrected. Like I said, we're on a 15-minute delay, and I'm seeing what you're seeing, so everything happened 15 minutes ago. So let the dealer know on their mistake, get it corrected, and we are ready to rock and roll once again. Nick will take it down with the 5s. So once again, had a slight break from the commentating, as there was an error at the table. So just letting the staff know on the air. And we will have a button straddle here. Luis putting out 10. It looks like there's $10 on top of the button. That's part of the small blind game. And looks like Izzy is not going to rebuy. He said hold his seat, but he's still not back yet. So they'll hold it for about 10 minutes, and we'll see if anybody takes over that seat. Ace queen for Bob. Let's see if he raises. That's exactly what he does. So New York Bob with the raise. $7-4 diamonds for Marty. It's a great hand in blackjack and an okay hand in poker. Luis defended his straddle. So 7-4 and 8-4 versus Ace Queen. Action will be on Bob, the initial raiser, New York Bob. Big flop for Marty here as he flops a pair and a straight draw. Luis also flopping a pair and a straight draw. He has a gut shot. Marty has open-ended. And Marty's just going to check. Let's see if Luis puts out a bet. Everybody checking here. 10 of spades coming on the turn. Luis with a spade in his hand. Luis actually has the best hand right now. And Luis will hit his flush. So Luis with the 4-high flush will turn it over and get the win. So Bob raising pre-flop, and then every street getting checked down to the river. The 4-high flush will get the win. Champ adding $5 to the button, part of the small blind game. All right, now let's see the stats that 20 hands have been played. Raise first in, Frankie. He did begin to stream very aggressive. Marty second on the list. You can see both Rock and Champ are at the bottom of the list, and they just cleared out Izzy because we're getting a different player. And looks like we got Chach coming into seat 3. Poker dealer. He's dealt all over the state of Texas. Dealt in Houston, dealt in Austin. He calls the Valley home, and he will come back from time to time. So he is back home right now, not dealing at any of the other card rooms across the state of Texas. Keep in mind there are 6 Texas Card House locations in the great state of Texas. Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley here in South Texas, Edinburg to be exact. There is also the original Texas Card House Austin. That's northwest Austin off of 183 Research Boulevard. Then you have 2 locations in the Dallas area, one of them in the city of Dallas, and one of them right next door in the city of Irvin, the Las Colimas area to be exact. And then you have 2 locations in the Houston area, one southwest Houston right by the Galleria, and then one north Houston in the city of Spring. So they got Chacha's information into the system. He is in for $500. And we are back to 9-handed. And Chach will raise his first pot. Picks up an ace, makes it $10. Sporting a Houston Astros city uniform. Baseball hat. And it looks like everybody will make the call. The 2 blinds and the button. All diamonds. 4 high flop, all diamonds. Does Chach have the ace of diamonds? Checked around to Champ, who has the top pair, and he will be betting that. Frankie also with top pair, but he has a diamond draw. And we will go heads up to the turn, as Bob would have made top pair if he stayed in. But this is going to be a chop pot, as it's going to be 4s and deuces with a king kicker. Frankie's going to bluff it. Well, Frankie thinks he's bluffing, but he's actually chopping the pot. It was a $75 bet, and Champ does call. Oh, he had 2-4. I thought he had 8-4. So he rivered a full house. That's why he's winning the pot. Card reader not reading properly there. All right, looks like we have a dealer change. So while they do the dealer change, we will tell you about the Poker Atlas Tour.
The Poker Atlas Tour is returning to Texas Card House Dallas and TCH Social Las Colinas from August 20th through September 3rd. Over $2 million in guarantees across 18 big events, including the $500,000 guaranteed Dallas Duel and the $1 million guaranteed title event. Mark your calendars now. For the full schedule, visit TexasCardHouse.com and the Poker Atlas app.
So just got a dealer change. Got Ash Cash in the box. $10 button straddle from New York Bob. And action will be Rigo calling the 10. Rigo with the king 8. Champ making the call with the suited connectors. And New York Bob checking his option. So 4 ways to the flop we go, as Marty also has some small suited connectors. And it's going to come king high. Rigo with the king 8 flopping top pair. He's going to check though, as it is a very draw heavy board. And one of those draws get in there. So a jack making a straight, New York Bob with the straight, and he checks. And that check's going to earn him some money, as I think Rigo's going to bet his trip kings here. No, Rigo checks again. And New York Bob's going to see he has a straight. But I don't know, it was 9 deuce, so the card reader picking something up wrong there. So we saw that the previous hand, when Frankie had 2-4, card reader thought he had 8-4. Valley Poker Open beginning tomorrow. 2 flights. one at 12, one at 5 p.m., 3 flights Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, one at 12, one at 5, and then there's a turbo at 9:15. Then on Monday, back to the 2 flights, 12 and 5, Tuesday, 12 and 5, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 and 5, and then August the 2nd, which is a Friday, the turbo flight will be added on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then one final turbo flight on Monday, August the 5th. Rock with the Queens. He just called the $6 straddle. So now he should be putting in a 3-bet here. It looks like it's on the small side. Is it 75? Yeah, it's kind of on the small side. There was a $20 raise from Regal, and 3 or 4 people called the $20 raise. So a little on the small side here. It might get through, though. And right as I say that, Champ calls with his suited ace. New York Bob with the 4-5 might be getting priced in here. So he can close the action here with the 4-5 offsuit, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So I thought the sizing was a little too small from the Queens, and you can see he's getting called by 4-5 offsuit. So sizing was a little too on the small side, and he will maintain the lead and immediately bet 125. Champ might call here, as he does have a pair and a backdoor flush draw. I think if he had more chips, he would be calling. He has over 500, which is about a quarter of his stack to make the call. He does have New York Bob behind him. New York Bob with a gut shot. I think if Champ calls, then New York Bob's going to call. A 6 will make New York Bob a straight. And that's exactly what New York Bob is thinking. Once again, he's closing the action. He knows he can't get re-raised. Now he does give it up. Worried about the 6 of clubs making the flush. So Champ looking for an ace, a 7, or a heart. Deuce. And I think Rock should just put Champ all in here. No. He bets 300. He bets enough to put Champ all in, yes. And now Champ, he's just gonna have to fold. Crazy part is, if Bob would have stuck around, now he would have been open-ended. Still needed to hit, but I don't see Champ calling it off here with second pair. Maybe if the deuce was a heart, giving him the flush draw, but he just has middle pair here, and this pot is almost $1,000. It'll be over 1,000 if he makes the call, but I don't think he is. Oh, he does make the call, and as soon as he made the call, he asked once or twice. So that was his plan, to hopefully run it twice, and they are going to be running it twice. That's not it, and that's not it. So Champ will get knocked out, as Rock will win the $1,300 pot. And Rock also winning the small blind. Forgot to factor that in. Forgot to put that into the solver. As Rock was small blind there. So he should be the butt of this hand, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that might have been another factor on why Champ called it off there. He thought maybe Rock was going after the bonus as part of the small blind game. Under the gun straddle for Chach. Action will be on Madi. Ace-8 of diamonds might come in for a raise here. Probably about 30. Looks like 35. So he raises to 35. Luis with the Jack-9. Speculated. Champ with the Ace-Queen. I think if he didn't lose his previous spot, he would normally raise here. But I think he's a little gun shy and he just makes the call. A hand he should probably be raising with, but just lost the previous hand. Bob loves the small suited connectors. I'm sure you've figured that out already. And Rock with the Ace-Jack just calling here.
$20 to play, you go around like one time.
Rigo with the suited connectors making the call. And Chach getting too good of a price to fold his big blind, to fold his straddle. $25 more for him to call. And you can see we are 6 ways to the flop. This is a 1-3 game. 6 ways to the flop, $250 in the middle. Everything's bigger in Texas. Oh, huge flop for Rigo. Flops a flush draw with a straight draw. Bob flopping bottom pair, and he's the only one that actually has a pair. It looks like it's going to check around. And there's the 6, which will give Rigo a pair to go with his flush draw. I thought that gave him a straight, but bets 45 into the $245 pot. Madi with the straight draw, not quite done with his hand. I think Bob's going to call. He has a pair and a straight draw. The straight draw is not going to be good if he hits it. And it looks like he's going to raise. So turning his hand into the bluff here. No, he just calls. I saw him cut out the green chips, but he was just counting his chips. So Rigo with the best hand and the best draw. And he is going to get there. He hits a straight as him and Madi will be chopping this pot up. And New York Bob also hitting a straight, but the straight is not good. I think with the action in front of him, he'll be able to fold. Madi's calling for sure, might raise. As a matter of fact, he's probably going to raise. And he's raising it to 450. So you can see New York Bob leaning back on his seat and knowing he hit this straight, but also knowing that it's not good. In a weird way, Madi would have made extra money by just calling, because that might have brought New York Bob in, but obviously he doesn't know that. So they will chop up the pot, as a 7 of clubs would have made Rigo a flush. Instead, he will chop the pot. So dealer will take care of that, and we will remind you about the 2-for-1 time here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley, all day Friday and Sunday. There is a $100 cap. And yes, you don't have to play. You can just come in and buy your time as long as your membership is current. So normally it is $12 an hour to play, and you can buy $100 worth of time and get $200 on Fridays and Saturdays, Fridays and Sundays. So Luis, the big winner right now, he's up over $600, followed by Madi, who's up over $500, and Rock is up $364. 9-10 for Luis, and he's going to call the straddle. Saw him call with a jack high earlier, so I think he knows he's the big winner tonight. He's up over a buy-in. He was in for 500, and he's up over 600, so he has over 1,000 in his stack, and he's using the extra chips to gamble. Oh, is Rigo going to raise here? 3-bet? No. It might have worked. 2 players with 9-10. And there's the 10, but Rigo hits his king. The king of hearts, to be exact. Also known as the suicide king. The king's holding a sword behind his head, and it looks like he's trying to commit suicide, which is why it's called the suicide king. He does make 2 pair, and Madi still has the 10. Very small bet from Luis here, from Rigo here. Only $20. That's going to bring Madi in. So Madi only looking for a 10, as a 9 will give him, or a jack. As soon as I saw the outs on top, I'm like, wait, a jack? The only problem is any ace makes a straight, so it's going to go check, check. He will win the pot with the straight. So Friday we have the 2-for-1 time. Also Friday we got the $20 tournament. Very, very, well, actually no, we're not running, excuse me, we're not running the $20 tournament this Friday, as we do have the Valley Poker Open. So $20 tournament not running this Friday, as you can take $200 and have a chance to win $25,000 for first place guaranteed. So action will be on Luis. So some cards not getting scanned properly. That's the slight delay in the action. I know it's Frankie's first time playing on the stream, so they're just making sure that the cards get scanned properly. Champ coming in for a $30 raise, kind of on the big side here. And looks like Rico's going to call him with the better hand. Suited ace. And Chach with the mystery hand. We know he has a jack. And we're going to go heads up to a flop. Basically 45-55. As the ace high of Rigo in front right now. Action will be on Champ. So Rigo's still out in front. He does pick up a straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. And there's that backdoor flush draw. I think Champ's going to check it again. He did check the flop, and he checks again. And Rigo will put out 35, and that should take care of it, and does. If you're not able to make it on Friday or Sunday for the 2-for-1 time, there is also a 4 hours for $40 promo that you can take advantage of. All of these promos must be taken care of with the host. So if you're going to buy time, it must be bought with the host in the front. So action will be on Champ. No, action will be on Madi, as there is a $10 straddle on the button. Queen 7 into the muck. Luis with the jacks. Looks like he's going to bump it up. Probably about 50. Now just 30. Oh, Champ with the aces. Here comes the 3-bet. Wow, the min raise. Let's see how Luis reacts to that. He's definitely calling. Let's see if he puts in the 3-bet. Oh, he just calls here. So Luis actually wants to see an ace, a king, or a queen, because that's going to save him money. Oh, it comes 9 high. This is a bad flop for Luis. He checks it. How much is Champ going to bet? Another 60? He 3-bets 60 pre-flop. I think he's going to put in 60 again. He puts out 75. Luis is going to have to call here. Normally, when you have jacks, you don't want to see an ace, a king, or a queen on the board, but an ace, a king, or a board will save Luis money. Luis might even raise here if he puts Champ on ace, king. Champ only has $200 behind, so Luis just puts in the call, so ace, king, or queen to save money. It's a deuce. I think Champ's going to go all in. He just has $200 left in his stack as he just rebought. So he's going to check. Champ's going to go all in. Luis isn't going to like it, but should be making the call. $281 in the pot. Champ has 200 in his stack. All in is the play here. There's the all in. And like I said, Luis isn't going to like it, but I think Luis has to call. It would be a great, great fold if Luis is able to make it. He might be able to get away with jacks. I think if he had queens, he wouldn't get away with queens, but he might be able to, just because there's 3 overcard possibilities: the aces, the kings, and the queens when he has the jacks. Luis is or was your big winner tonight so far coming into this hand. And let's see if he saves money here by folding jacks. So $10 button straddle. Luis was in the big blind. He made it 30. And then right next act after him was Champ. He made it 60. Folded around heads up. So there was 130. Yeah, he makes the call. I didn't think he would be able to get away from it. I cannot blame him. He's looking for a jack. Looks like they're going to run it twice. So he's going to have 2 chances at the 2 outer. That's not it. And that's not it. So Champ making a comeback here as he got knocked down earlier, but he rebought and he's back in, picking up the aces with the double up. Yeah, I thought his hand was just too strong to fold. And it looks like that was the case. There's the VPIP. Rock's actually the highest right now on the VPIP. Marty at 50%, Rigo at 40%. So everybody at least 25%, which is a good number, especially when you're playing on stream. That means it's a lively table. People are splashing around. So New York Bob, he likes the small suited connectors, and he will make the call with 3 high. Rock with the raise, ace jack. I might have gone $20 just because of the limp. Chach making the call with the hearts. Marty with better hearts. And I think New York Bob's going to be priced in here. Yep. He will make the $15 call as we go 4 ways to the flop. $64 in the middle. And the flop will come king high. Nobody hitting a pair. And Chach is going to bluff, representing the king. Betting 50, so pretty big bet here by Chach. It's going to work. raise first in stat, and everybody has raised first in at least once. Frankie in at 40%. And then on the bottom of it, you have Nick and Champ both in at 6%, Rock in at 7%. So small blind game is in effect. Those are the chips on top of the button. Those chips can only be won by the small blind. If the small blind wins the pot, the small blind gets the bonus. That is not a straddle. So action is under the gun on Frankie. He will make the fold. Rock comes along with the call, and I think somebody's cards are not scanned. Yeah, that's what happened. So Rock limps with the 8-7. Chach raises with the 8-7. And Champ will call with the Ace-7. So two players with 8-7, one player with Ace-7, and Luis with Ace-6. So two players with similar hands, two players with the same hand. Gut shot straight draws for the 7-8s, and a flush draw for Luis. As everybody will check to Luis, and he's going to be betting half pot, bets $30. And that should clear everybody out. Chach calling with the gut shot. It might go check, check here. Action is on Chach here. Yeah, he's going to check. I think Luis might check behind as the king comes on the turn. No, will put out the bet and get the immediate fold from Chach. So Chach called one time to try to hit his gut shot, and Luis will take it down. $5 added to the button as part of the small blind game. So our deep stack tournament will not be going on this Saturday nor next Saturday, as the Valley Poker Open's going on. Nick with the raise with ace queen. Couple of players not at their seats. They still get dealt in. Rock with the 8-4 of hearts. Looks like he's gonna take a look at the flop. And Rock flopping a straight draw. Nick also has a straight draw. Rock's open-ended though. It's gonna go check, check to the river. And does Rock bluff it? He's gonna bet 25. Nick is gonna have to call with ace high here if he wants to win. Checked all the way to the river. And it's going to work. So Rock getting to bluff through. Nick figured he had the 7, but that was not the case. Also for the month of July, got the daily pass promo. Buy 2 hours, and your daily pass is $1. So $25 gets you 2 hours and a daily pass to the club. So if you've never been here to the Texas Card House before, that's a great deal, as you essentially get a membership for $1. Like I said, a couple players not at their seats. Since the players are paying by time, this is not a rate game. No chips come out of the pot. The players do get dealt in since they are paying for time. At a normal table, once you're the big blind and you're not at your seat, then you will get the missed blind button. On the stream table, oh, Frankie's going after the bonus, and Frankie's going to get the bonus. It was folded. No, wait, Nick straddled. And Nick's not going to let him have it. Nick actually has him dominated. So Frankie making a move going after the bonus on the button. And Nick flops the straight, and Frankie's going to continue to bluff at this spot. How much is he going to bluff? Bets $50. Is Nick just going to call? So Nick flopping the nuts. The best hand possible. So the king is definitely going to have Frankie pump the brakes. Nick still with the straight. And I think he's going to put out like $100 here. Bet 75. And I think Frankie's done with this hand. We'll give him an E for effort for going after the bonus on the small blind. And normally it's going to work, but this time does not. So Luis, before he doubled up champ, was the big winner. He's still in the green tonight, but now Marty is up $564, rocking the green. Luis still in the green. You got Nick, who just won that pot. He's up about $200, and Rigo. Everybody else in the red. As Chacha New York Bob down less than $100. Champ just over $100. And Frankie has the button straddle. So there is $50 on the button as part of the small blind game, and $10 in front is the straddle, which Nick makes the call. And everybody calling the $10. Looks like we're going 7 ways to a flop. 7 ways to a flop. 8-3-3, 2 clubs. New York Bob with king high clubs is probably going to put out a bet here of like $40. He bets exactly 40. And nobody really has anything to call him with. So New York Bob with the semi-bluff. Any club would have given him the best hand. But he bets on the flop and takes it down. All right, so once again, a breakdown which can be found on TexasCardHouse.com. Huge tournament. If you live in South Texas or know of somebody who does, make sure you tell them about the Valley Poker Open, as there is a straddle announced. It's a $200 entry. It starts tomorrow, the 25th. 2 flights every day, and sometimes 3 flights. Friday, Saturday, Sunday have 3 flights. 12 noon, 5 p.m. The field, top 12% get paid that day, the top 12%. The top 8% advance to day 2. So only the top 8% are advancing to day 2. But keep in mind, you do have an opportunity to bag multiple times. Best bag forward. You cannot combine bags, but there is a $1,500 bonus available to the top 3 players with the most bags. 4 ways to the flop we go. Queen 10-5. I know at least one player had a 10. Two players have a 10. So Frankie with the 10 makes the bet. And Luis will call him with the 10. Rock calls him with the open ender. So 9 will be kind of juicy here, as it would give Frankie 2 pair and rock the nuts. And there's the 9 right on cue. So 2 pair for Frankie, rock with the nuts straight. The second time within the last 2 hands that Frankie is betting into the nuts. There are 2 spades. Rock does have the jack of spades here, so he might just call and get tricky with this hand. And it looks like that's what he's doing. No, he's raising. I think since the third player was in the hand, he wanted to get heads up here. And he's going to get heads up. Frankie's not folding here. So Frankie makes the call looking for a 10 or a 9. There's only 2 left. You can see the outs on the top of the screen. Only 2 left. 9 or a 10. A spade might save him money. And he's going to lose some more money, I think. I think he's calling 200 and less. And Rock bets 225 and gets snap called. And Rock will show Frankie the nuts. I thought he would call up to 200, and turns out he was calling up to 225. And that's what Rock bet. So I know that I've mentioned it a lot, but it is a huge, huge tournament here. TexasCardHouse.com for more details. It begins tomorrow. Mañana, en español. Mañana a las 12. Día número 1A. Day 1A. Straddle announced on the button. It looks like 15. I thought 10 was the max in the 1-3 game. They do have different rules on the stream game though, so that might be the case. And Chach going after that 15 as he is raising with the Queen 9 of Hearts to 33. Luis making the call with the King 10 of Diamonds. And Frankie, he's back in with the better king. Nick getting a real good price, but he does make the discipline fold. So we will go 3 ways to the flop, 115 in the middle. One player looking for diamonds, one player looking for hearts, one player looking for spades, and it's going to be clubs. The King Jack was in the lead at the beginning and is still in the lead. Frankie's probably going to be betting at least 50. And there's the 50. And this should take it down. I don't see Luis calling with a backdoor straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. But he is definitely giving it some thought. And he finally makes the fold. So I believe, let's see here. I haven't counted, but I want to say there's at least 25 flights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10. And then you have 6 times 3 is 18, so that's 28. So there's 29 flights. 29 flights. As there's a 2 on certain days, there's 3 on other days. And the last day you can actually qualify. The final table is going to be Monday, August the 5th. You could actually qualify that day. There will be a 12 p.m. turbo, and I guarantee you That turbo is going to have a ton of people trying to get their last opportunity to qualify for their chance to win $25,000. $200 entry fee. $16 raise from Nick with the 3-2. Second time Bob calls a race tonight with the 4-5. Did not work out for him last time. We'll see what happens this time as we are going 6 ways to the flop. Excuse me, 7 players. There's only 9 players there that were dealt in. Jack high flop. And there's so many hands in here that the reader cannot keep track of them. Nick was your pre-flop raiser. He flops a pair. And he will continue on for 45. Regal flopping top pair immediately calls. Chach has some plans for the turn. I don't mind a call if he was in position, but he's out of position here, so he's gonna try to get real creative here as Frankie needs a 5 for a straight. So Chach is looking for a club, a king. Does not want a 10, as the 10 will give him his opponent a better 2 pair. So let's see what Chach does here. Like I said, he had a plan calling on the flop, and he did not get a card to execute his plan, so he's going to check it. And I think Nick is going to check it again. Yeah, he does check it again. 6 coming on the river. Almost $300 in the pot. And Chach reluctantly gives up. I don't think a bluff from Nick will work here. Rigo has a jack. And Rigo's not folding for less than 100. Yeah, it's 85. Rigo's calling. So the reader was wrong earlier, but I think it's right here. Nick does have 3-2. I think that's the case. But we're gonna find out because Rigo makes the call, and everybody else will get out of the way, and we will see the cards. And like I said, I think the card reader was true, and there it is. Rigo winning at winning almost that $500 pot because it was 300 before the river, and Nick bet like 80 bucks. So a huge pot there. Nice hand. Chach putting out the button straddle. That's the $10 chips in front of the button. So action does start to the left of the straddle, which means the small blind will be first to act. Really puts a lot of pressure on the small blind, especially since they're playing the small blind game. Marty's going to have to fold. Eight-6 of spades for champ. Brock just making the call. A raise probably would have been better there. And Chach with the big ace is going to race to 40. I don't think anybody's folding. Nick might fold. Rigo has the 7-6. He's going to come along. So Chach with the best hand and the best position right now. Action will be on a rock with the ace 9 of hearts. And if Nick would have stuck around, he would have flopped trips. Chach will put out the C bet. Rigo flopping a pair. I don't see him folding to one bet, especially a $40 bet. And Rigo does make the call, so Chach looking for an ace or a jack. And it's a tray. I think Rigo's just going to check call again. And I think he's going to check again, and would be interesting to see if Chach makes like a big bet, like a $200 bet here, see what Rigo does. No, it went check, check. The waitress coming in with the snack tray. The players taking advantage of the snack tray. All the snacks are $1. They got chips, candy, everything $1. Corn nuts. Great place just to relax and play cards here at the Texas Card House. As looks like there was a card exposed, so they will reshuffle. But I mentioned it earlier. Some players also get a massage while they're playing. Oh, we got the double straddle. They're trying to convince seat 9 Rock to put out the 4, and I don't think he's going to. The action will be on Rock. Making sure that everything got scammed properly. And he's going to be calling with the Queen 3. The San Francisco bus boy. Nick with the 5s. Raising it up. I like it. Makes it 65. Champ with the ace 10. Is he folding, or Luis making the call with the 10-9 of diamonds? And I think Rock is going to make the call. It's only 35 more to him. It looks like Frankie's also coming along. Frankie with the ace 3. So 5 of clubs or 5 of diamonds will be interesting, as it'll give Nick a set and either Luis or Rock a flush draw. So 4 ways to the flop. Keep in mind, this is a 1-3 game. There is $228 pre-flop. We have not seen the first 3 cards. I was playing a 1-3 cash game there in the World Series of Poker at Paris, which is where the tournament area is for the World Series of Poker. And I was also playing at the Horseshoe at their poker room, 1-3, and you were lucky to get a pot on the river that had $228 in it. There's $228, and there's no flop is out yet. So just verifying that everybody put their blinds and straddles in, got that taken care of. And here comes the flop. Ace, King, 6, 2 hearts. So Frankie taking the lead. He's going to check it. Not a good kicker. Seven of diamonds. That's going to give Luis a straight draw. Let's see if Frankie bets his hand now. He doesn't have a good kicker. No, he still bets it. And that's going to get the job done. Looks like Frankie flashing the ace. He had the best hand. So a little discussion on making sure all the blinds were put out properly. That's what was the delay. There's the VPIP. Champ at the lowest at 24%, still respectable. What's not respectable is less than 10%. The one time I played on the stream, I was less than 10% VPIP. Not good. I was not invited back. They're like, you know what? You do better talking than you do playing. $10 straddle for Frankie, just won the last hand. Rock with the quick fold. Nick, just the call.
right before the break, where this guy raised
4-5
showed his
for
cards,
Luis.
put him down. It said you win, and then this guy folded. And the big blind said, I'm the only one with live cards. I should.
So 4 ways to the flop we go. $43. All spades. And Luis with the spades. Luis does have a backdoor straight flush draw, as Nick will put out a small bet. Luis is probably just going to call, looking for a 7 or a 3 of spades. 3 of spades will be interesting. It will give Nick 2 pair. So Luis is probably going to be betting a decent size here. About 50? 35. Nick doesn't like his kicker, but he might call for the price.
You might get a penalty. The hand isn't. Maybe we can move it and find out. Well, I mean,
And I think Nick is going to make the call. A spade will save Nick money. And it is the king. Nick's going to check again. And how much is Luis going to try to get from him? I think 40 and below will work. Nick bet 75. So Nick kind of with the blocker bet here. And it's not going to work. Nick didn't like his kicker. He didn't want to call a big bet, so he decided to bet 75, about half pot. And now Luis will put in the min raise. Is this the min? No, it's a big raise. 250. And I don't think Nick can call unless if he specifically puts him on a missed flush draw. So this might work. Is Nick a believer? And Nick is a believer. He does make the fold. And I saw her face. And then I'm a believer. There's the aggression factor. So we got a big tournament started tomorrow. They have a big tour coming into town in just under a month in Dallas. Poker Atlas Tour. Over $2 million of guaranteed prize pool. That is multiple tournaments, 18 events. Nick with the Queen Nine of Hearts. Just gonna limp. There's a $10 straddle. Bob is available for the small blind bonus, and that's one of the reasons why he's calling with the suited connectors. And yes, they are suited. I know it's 9-5, but they will make a straight if you use that extension cord. Nick flopping the queen, betting 25, and that should do the trick. So Bob will add $5 to the button, and it looks like it's back up to about $75 or $80. And I've just been told it's $95 on top. So Bob is cleaning it up, put in another green. So there's 3 greens and 4 reds on top of that button. Frankie's going to go after this. So Frankie, the small blind, he knows the bonus. He sees the bonus. He's been playing pretty aggressive tonight. And now he has a reason to play aggressive. More of a reason to play aggressive. And another card expose it. So in general, most card rooms, but here at the card house, I cannot tell you the rules of every card house everywhere or every poker room. The first two cards, if any of the first two cards are exposed, it is a misdeal. Way back in the day, it used to be any of the cards out of the blinds or on the button, it would be a misdeal, but that took too much time, and Bob playing a little defense for the button game, put in the straddle on, so put an immediate pressure on that small blind to make the call. And we got ace king versus ace queen here, and the pocket fours are out in front right now. I thought that the ace queen might 3-bet. Turns out it was good not to 3-bet, as he was dominated. So we're going 5 ways to the flop, $151. Ace king versus ace queen versus king 10. Everybody dominated. The fours out in front right now, and the fours still in front. So everybody's sharing cards here. I could see New York Bob bluffing if it does check to him on the button. But that's not going to happen, as Chach is going to put out just under half pot here. Bob with no hearts, not going to be able to continue. And I think one of these hands is going to call him. The ace king or the ace queen is going to call him. I don't think they're going to give up to a $60 bet. So Rock folding the ace king. I don't think Rigo's going to give up. Don't let me down, Rigo. Make this call. Wow. Everybody making the fold. It was the proper fold. They did make the proper fold. But I thought the ace king or ace queen might see another card. And now there is $100 on the button. Part of the small blind game. So we might see another button straddle, because it really puts pressure on. We've seen a lot of limps, and the small blind gets in for cheap. So with the $10 button straddle, it kind of puts a premium on the small blind. Gives them a little more heat. Chach with the raise, $10 with the queen 10 offsuit. Marty with the ace makes the fold. And New York Bob, Jack 8 of clubs, will be raising. Is it 40? It's 40. Frankie calling with the pocket pair. And Rock is coming along because he has the $100 bonus that only he can win. Oh, does Nick back raise here? No, Nick just calls. I would have liked seen a back raise out of the straddle there. And it looks like we're going 6 ways to a flop. Yeah, 6 times 40 times 6 is 240, right? Sounds right. 10 high flop. Chach, the initial raiser, and he got 3-bet, and he's not going to mess around here. He's just going to bet 100, as there is 2 hearts on the board. Bob not done with the hand. I guess he has some plans. I don't think Rock is done, is he? He is. I thought he might call with the pair just because of the $100 bonus. So New York Bob looking for a jack or a 9, I guess, or a straight draw, or maybe a heart. Maybe his plan was to represent hearts, and Chach is not going to let him, as Chach has the queen of hearts and basically says, hey, if you have hearts, good luck. I don't think you have hearts. And I guess even if he gets called, he kind of has the backup queen of hearts. So Chach winning last hand. And I think we got something wrong on the reader here. I think maybe it's Jack 8 that Bob has, because he's actually thinking about this. So it's showing Jack 8 of clubs. It might be a different hand. Because like I said, Bob has not made the fold. This does happen every once in a while where the reader picks something up wrong. Or maybe it was right and Bob was just posturing. So 2 in a row for the traveling poker dealer. I know he's dealt at clubs in the Houston area, clubs in the Austin area, clubs in the Rio Grande Valley area. And it's going to be a $10 straddle from Chach. And we are doing a dealer change. So while we do the dealer change, we will once again remind you about the Valley Poker Open.
Into 25,000 playing poker, Texas Card House is proud to present the $100,000 guaranteed Valley Poker Open from July 25th to August 5th. $200 buy-in. Day 2 on August 5th with the final table streamed worldwide. For more details, visit texascardhouse.com.
Dealer change, $10 button straddle. Marty making the $10 call under the gun. Action on champ, puts it in the muck. Frankie raising it up to 35 with the king queen. It's not going to be 3 in a row for Chach as he does fold his straddle. And Marty making the call with the 9 high, looking to play it like a boss. Frankie will flop a king, should go check, bet, fold. Let's see. There's the check. There's the bet, there's the fold. Bingo, bango, bongo. And if you missed it at the very end of the commercial, there is a $1,500 bonus for the top 3 players with the most bags. And there is another $1,500 bonus for the top 5 players with the most entries. So I believe I did the math right. Let me do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. So there's 4 days that there's 2 flights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, there's 5 days. 5 days of two flights, that's 10. Then there's 6 days with 3 flights, so that's 18. And then there's 1 day with 1 flight. So yeah, 29 flights. A lot of opportunities to advance on to day 2. Even the final day on Monday, there is a 12 p.m. turbo that final day. So 29 chances to enter. I've seen players just buy in once, run up their stack, and they show up for the second day. And I've seen players buy in 40 times. Everybody has their strategy, and that's the great thing, because you can use whatever works for you. $200 buy-in, a chance for $25,000 for first. Valley Poker Open begins tomorrow at noon. So Luis is going to get the win here with the 8 if he makes the call. Oh, he doesn't make the call. So Nick getting to bluff through. And it looks like there's $115 on that button now. Yep. $115 on the button. The YouTube chat is live. We are streaming on the secondary channel tonight. The main channel is TCH Live. You are watching Texas Card House. 3 separate words. That is the search for YouTube, and you got to make sure that it is the Texas Card House channel. Like I said, the reason why there are 2 channels, there's 6 different locations. 4 of those locations do stream, and they stream at least twice a week. So that's going to be 8 streams, and there's only 7 days out of the week. So there is a secondary channel, like I said. Rock, so far, tonight's big winner. Not far behind is Marty. Rigo also not far behind. Frankie in over 1,000. New York Bob down over 200. And both Champ and Nick down about 150. Luis with the King 9 of Hearts. I think he folded. No, there was a button straddle. That's what it was. So Marty calling with the King 9 of Clubs, as does Luis. Folded around to Nick, who got tricky with the 3-2 earlier. Did not work out in his favor. Rigo with the 7s. Is he just going to call? Kind of wanted to see him punish the limpers. So Chach is in the hand with 10-5 here. And the reason why Chach is in the hand, it's the small blind game. Marty flopping huge. I think Marty's going to check raise here. He flops top pair with a flush draw. So huge flop for him. Luis has King 9 as well, but he does not have the clubs. The 7s of Rigo going to hit the muck. And I thought Marty was going to check raise, but now that everybody folded, he just might call since it's heads up here. So call him for sure. Does he raise? That's what he's thinking. And yes, he's still raising. So both players with the same hand, but Luis is getting free rolled. Luis cannot improve his hand. Marty can if a club comes. That's the term free roll. That's one of the uses. Sometimes there'll be poker tournaments that are free rolls. And looks like Luis can't take the heat, and Marty will win the hand. So those are the winners and who's up and who's down right now. So now Marty takes over the top spot. $10 button straddle from Chach.
Yeah, or the opening ceremonies. Yeah, it's probably right.
So action's going to be on the small blind. I actually like this strategy to straddle on the button as part of the small blind game, because it gives essentially no chance for the small blind to get in cheap. Luis with the 10s. Looks like he's going to raise. Champ with the immediate call with the ace-8 of diamonds. And Bob calling with the jack-9 of diamonds. Let's see what Rock does here. Rock with the ace-queen. 3-bet, 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 3-bet. No, just a call. So we are on a 15-minute delay. This action did happen 15 minutes ago, but I'm seeing it the same time you see it. So we're seeing it live. Well, live with the 15-minute delay. I was kind of trying to will Rock to raise there with the ace-queen, but I put it out into the universe, but I put it out 15 minutes too late. So Rock flopping the ace, Champ flopping top and bottom pair, New York Bob flopping middle pair, and Luis had the 10s. He was the initial raiser, and he's going to continue on. I actually don't like this bet, and it's not because I know that somebody has a beat. It's just because so many players are in the hand. Like if it's heads up and you have 10s and an ace comes up, I don't mind the C-bet with the 10s. But when you're 5 ways, the chances of somebody having an ace are very, very good. And it looks like Rock is going to raise it, and he's not going to like it when Champ puts in the check raise. How much does Champ have in his stack? Yeah, Champ is putting all his chips in the middle here. As Luis will make the fold, Champ will go all in, and then Bob I think Bob will tank fold. Bob has his sunglasses on, so he sometimes likes the Hollywood. So that is my prediction. Champ's going to say all in, and then Bob's going to kind of Hollywood and then fold. All right, so far my prediction's wrong. Yep, my prediction was totally wrong. Champ just makes the call and Bob immediately folds. All right, Rock looking for a queen, a 9, or a spade. Champ with $400 in his stack. The pot is over 700. Does Champ go all in? That's the move. And he does it. No, he bets 150. No. He went all in. The graphics popped up wrong. Rock's going to call him, and Rock's going to be looking for an ace. Rock's going to be looking for a queen or a 9. 1-9 was folded by Bob, the 9 of diamonds, and that is why it is in the gray, the shaded area. But he does have 5 live outs, and I believe they're going to run it twice. Yes, they are running it twice. So Rock looking for a queen or a 9. There's a king. That's not it. And that's not it. So 2 face cards. And it is the 2 face cards Rock does not have. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20. But I think if Rock put in the 3-bet with the ace-queen, as there was a $10 straddle, Marty called the $10. Luis raised it to, I believe, 30 or 35. And then Champ called, New York Bob called, and Rock just called the initial raise with the ace-queen suited. I think it's just too strong of a hand just to call with, especially with 2 players calling the initial raise. So second time Champ doubles up, and that should put him in the green. And I think Rock is still in the green after taking that hit, but obviously not as much as he was before.
I'm expecting him to have a 7-9. Every time I think he's going to that.
So they will clean up the button, and now there's $125 on the button. And it looks like Marty thought about putting out the button straddle, and looks like he pulled it back. But sometimes you'll see it happen every once in a while where everybody just limps, everybody folds around to the small blind, and he just has to put out another $2 to try to win 125. So if you straddle on the button, it at least puts immediate pressure on the small blind. $10 under the gun straddle. Oh, I think that's what happened. Marty was going to put out the straddle, but Bob straddled under the gun, and under the gun does have priority. That is a rule here at the Texas Card House. Under the gun does have priority. It could be different in the card room that you play at. And I think Marty might have been a little offended, so he's going to raise Bob's straddle with the queen 9 to 45. And Luis has 125 reasons to make this call, and does. He's actually in bad shape here. Bob will probably make the call as well. So Bob has Marty dominated, and Marty has Luis dominated. And it's going to come ace high. I think he's going to check to Marty, and Marty's going to put out a C-bet here. He's going to represent the ace. I don't think he has to go that big. He's probably going to go 70. $65. This is going to work. And he will show the bluff. So, mentioned it earlier, as a matter of fact, the previous hand where Luis led out with his 10s when the ace was on the board, that I did not like that play, and reason why is just because it was multi-ways. There was, I believe, 5 ways in there. But I do like the play from Adi here. When it was checked to him, he was the initial raiser pre-flop, and he had the bet and lead, and he continued on with the bet and lead when his opponents checked. And once again, I'm not being results-oriented. I know I was able to see Luis's 10s, and I was able to see somebody else having an ace. That's not why I didn't like the move. Just like Madi's move right now, I predicted he was going to do the move before he did the move. Oh, Frankie with the aces makes it 20. Madi with the 8-7 just won last hand, feeling good. Champ is going to call because he has a $130 bonus that he can hit. And New York Bob will make the fold. So 3 ways to the flop we go. Both Madi and Champ with a very similar hand. Normally Champ is folding the 8-6 offsuit out of the small blind, but there's $130 on the button that he's eligible for. Oh, and he's going to flop open-ended. Is that right? Yeah, he flops open-ended. Madi flops a 7. And I don't think anybody's folded to this $25 bet. So Champ is making the call for sure. He is open-ended looking for a 4 or a 9. So he is a fan of the 49ers right now. And the board's going to pair. So bad turn for Madi. Great turn for Frankie. And Frankie will continue on. Madi's going to get out of the way, but Champ's not done yet. Champ should be making the call here as he does have a $130 bonus. And he does make the call. So Champ looking for a 4 or a 9. And Champ gets a 6. And Frankie hoping Champ has a queen, but that's not the case. And I don't think Champ can call, but once again, he does have, yep. I was going to go, I don't think he can call, but he does have the $130 bonus to call. So he was hoping Frankie had ace queen. In a normal situation, he does not play that hand pre-flop, and he doesn't call on the river in a normal situation. Once again, you have the wrinkle of the small blind game. You sometimes see players play the 7-deuce game. You sometimes see them play the stand-up game, but all those games make the players think different. There's a different element to the game, and the players sometimes level themselves into making bad plays. So now there's 135 on the button, and there is no straddle this hand, as action will be on rock with the Jack Deuce Chalktown Nuts into the muck. Nick in seat 1 there, 8-6 of diamonds. He might call the 3 because it's suited, and that's what happens. Rigo immediately raising him with the 9s. $20, decent size. I might have gone 25. Oh, Champ just lost the last hand, and he's getting back into action with the Jack 6 suited. Bob's calling with the Ace 3 of diamonds. Actually, with the small blind game, Bob is the small blind. He might have made a move there. I don't know if it would have got the 9s to fold, but making a move there wouldn't have been a terrible play. Instead, he's going to flop bottom pair as the 9s are still in front. Nobody with a king. Let's see if Regal bets here. Yeah, he's going to bet. There's only one overcard to his pair. It was 5 ways, so probably about 50-50 with him betting there. Not sure what the proper play was there, but I think either a check or a bet would have been fine. And Bob is going to call with the 3, hoping to pair up. Bob has a big incentive to bluff here on the river if he misses because of the small blind game. And he has a board that, oh, he hits the ace. Never mind. He's not going to have to bluff. He's going to get the bonus. He's not folding. There's a third overcard backdoor hearts came, so I don't think he could size very big if he wants a call from Regal. He's going to have to bet like 75. He bets 50. So he knows that he backed into 2 pair, and if he wants to get called, he has to bet small. Regal's getting a real good price here. And keep in mind, the small blind game is on, and Regal knows this, so he's thinking, is Bob bluffing, trying to get that extra $135? This is a great bet by Bob. It's really getting Regal to think. Getting a great price, and the small blind game is on. He finally does make the call, getting too good of a price, and Bob's going to collect the $278 pot, plus he will win the small blind game, and that's $135 extra that he is collecting because of the small blind game. And now he will put $5 on the button, and it will start over again. Nice hand. So Bob was stuck before that hand. I still think he's still stuck, but that's going to get him closer to out of the hole. So Kenny back in the box. King 7 of clubs. Nick might limp just because it's suited. You can see he thought about it. Regal with the 9-5. He's going to limp. The Dolly Parton working 9 to 5.
Yeah, I raised on the pre-flop, I raised on the flop.
Champ with the King 10. Makes the raise. It's a real small raise, only to $12. So Bob's going to call with the suited King. Frankie, he does have a $5 incentive to come along for the small blind game. So he's going to come along. Why not? And Rock will also make the call with the best hand currently. 2 diamonds on the flop. Rock flopping a gut shot. And Rock still has the best hand, I believe. It will go check around. Jack coming on the turn. And now Champ turns open-ended and will bet his draw. And that should... No, Frankie also turns open-ended. And Regal does have a 5, so Regal also makes the call. Oh, a 9 on the river? Ooh, it's the second time I do that. So that gives Regal 2 pair. It gives Champ the straight. 165 in the pot. I think Regal will call up to $100. I don't think Champ's going to bet that much, but I think Regal will call up to $100. Oh, Champ's going to bet more than $100. I thought Champ was going to go on the small side, but looks like it's over 100. The exact count is going to be 145. I think it's too much for Regal to call. He does have 2 pair, but it's 2 very weak pair. Queen Jack beats him. Jack 9 beats him. The only thing working against him is that diamonds missed. He has no diamonds in his hand. Straight draws also missed. The 6-7 variety. I think he called. Yeah, he called. So Champ gonna show him the straight. It's kind of freaky. That's the second time I do that tonight where I say this card will make things very interesting, and the card came. So I thought Rigo would call up to 100, and Champ thought he would call up to 145, and Champ was correct as he gets max value from his straight. There's the VPIP. Champ back up to over 25%. Rock in at 57%. Luis in at 51%. And then 4 players in at 40%. And the 2 other players in at 38%. Oh, we got the double straddle. The re-straddle, the re-re. $10 from Rigo. Chach makes it 20. And our 1-3 game is now a 10-20 game. Oh, Champ winning last hand. He should be coming in for a raise here. He should be making it like 70. He makes it 80. New York Bob with the 6s. New York Bob likes to see flops, so I don't think he's going to fold. The only thing he's worried about is there's a lot of players left stacked behind him. And he's going to finally make the fold, reluctantly. And we'll see if any of the blinds pick up any hands. Rigo making the call with the suited king. Oh, Chach might get in trouble here. Chach might get in trouble. I think he should be 3-betting this. But he knows Champ is on the tighter side. So if he does 3-bet here, it's going to be like up to 250. Or is he going to put in a small 3-bet and fold to a shove? He's seeing how much chips he has to figure out the bet sizing. I think if it's not suited, he might just call, but I think he's going to raise here. Yep, he makes it 200. So a small sizing, and Champ should just be going all in here, especially with Rigo in the hand. Chach starting the hand with about 600. Is he just going to call? This is going to bring Rigo into the hand. Rigo toning 120 more to call. Rigo should be calling here. Once again, this is based upon Rigo not knowing he's up against Ace King, but Rigo's getting the right price to call, and he knows that. So I don't think anybody's going to hit a pair here. This pot is now over $600. 1-3 game, folks. 1-3 no limit hold'em, Texas Card House. Nobody hits a pair. And Chach is just going to go all in and figure that if Eric has a big pair, that his ace and queen are live. Like I said, I thought Eric should have just put Chach in and see all 5 cards. Rigo finally makes the fold. So ace king versus ace queen. The ace queen playing it more aggressive, and the aggressiveness will win there. And I don't think so. Eric just asked if that was a straddle, so I don't think Eric realized that that was a double straddle. I think Eric thought, excuse me, Champ. I think Champ thought that Chach raised it to $20, and then Champ made it $80, and then Chach made it $200. So So Marty with the just the call here with the 10s. Yeah, I think if Champ knew that that was a double straddle, I think he would have just got it all in there pre-flop. But ooh, here we go. Small raise from the jacks here, but it might induce Marty to put into 3-bet. No, he's just calling. So both players with a pocket pair and 2 overcards come. This is going to slow down the action. Check, check. Nobody with hearts. It's going to go check, check again, I think. There's a check. There's a check. Oh, rock betting small, only $30. So I like the bet because he's in position. And Marty makes the call. Just thinks that Rock has 1 heart. I think it's going to go check, check again. Yes, it goes check, check again. So jacks versus 10s. Marty losing the minimum, I think, as he just called the $10 straddle under the gun and just called the raise as well. Let's see if he puts out a straddle. Yeah, he puts out a $10 straddle. High hand still going on right now. Live straddle announced under the gun. Action will be on Luis. King 9. The dog, the K9. Luis makes the call. Bob with the King Jack suited. Let's see if he raises here. And there's the Cajun Asian. He sometimes does the commentating when I'm out of town, and he just got back from out of town. So Bob does raise here with the King Jack. And Luis makes the fold. So I think that's the first raise and take of the night. All right. We have 2 players that are barely winning. Both Rock and Luis up $20. And then we have Marty, Champ, and Chach all up about $500. Everybody else in the red. So Champ losing early, but he has made a comeback. So 9-7, Luis limping again. He limped earlier, the previous hand with King 9, and Bob raised it, and Bob will raise again. This time, Bob with the 4-3 of hearts. Chach just calling with the jacks. The small blind game is on, so kind of an unusual play by Chach here, as he's taking very aggressive lines with hands that are a lot worse. You would think he would take an aggressive line when he does have a made hand, but that's not the case. And it's going to come ace, king, queen. So Chach did not want to see an ace, a king, or a queen. All 3 come out. Does anybody have a spade? Chach will put out the small bet. So somehow Chach is going to win with these jacks. He has no spade. He has no spade, no ace, no king, no queen, and he winds up winning the pot. Yeah, and he does win the bonus. So he will put the $5 on now, and the small blind game will begin again. I believe it's still on. There's the $5, and there's the straddle. Yeah. So he's going to straddle 10. Action will be on Marty here. $10 straddle on the button. Marty making the fold. Ace-8 for Bob. Makes the call.
That means if I had won it right now,
Yeah, you don't want to win. You owe $10. You owe.
I owe $10 if I won it now. That's why I say you won't want to win it.
So it looks like New York Bob with the best hand. And there comes the ace. Nick with the clubs. Luis with the better clubs. Luis going to lead right out here. Nick also with a straight draw. 5 makes him a straight. Rock open-ended with the 5-6. And there's the flush, and there's the straight. There's been a lot of action cards. The 7 making a straight for Rock. It makes the nut flush the best hand possible for Luis. And Nick has a 10-high flush. So there will definitely be blood here. Oh, Rock's going to raise here. So Luis bet the flop with his flush draw, hits the flush draw, bets again, and now he's getting raised. And Nick has a 10-high flush. I don't think Nick can fold here. And this is one of the reasons why you don't play 10 deuce. Because it gets you in bad positions. I don't think Nick can fold. Is he thinking about raising? Luis is loving this. Luis has the nuts right now. He bet, he gets raised, and now somebody's thinking about at least calling. And that's what he's going to do. What does Luis do here? I think if you're Luis, you have to re-raise it. I mean, you're putting somebody on at least 2 pair here, so you don't want the board to pair. You have 423 in your stack. And there's 442 in the pot. I think you just go all in here. Wow, he just calls. So if the board pairs here, Luis is not going to like it if the board pairs. Board did not pair. I don't think that Nick is going to be able to fold his hand. I think Nick is just going to lose more money. I don't know how he's going to lose more money, but I think Nick is going to lose more money in this hand. Oh, Luis checking here. Yeah. Rock betting 200. Luis playing this great as he figures somebody else had a flush or somebody has a straight at least. And like I said, Nick is losing more money for sure. And now here comes the bad news. Nick makes the call. Luis immediately says all in. Nick's not going to be able to fold here for another $143. Is Rock going to call? I think Rock feels pot committed here. Rock might think somebody has 8-5 for a better straight, or that somebody has a flush, but Rock feels pot committed here. And look at him. He's literally shaking his head while he's calling. And then Nick's going to call. And Luis played this masterfully. 1351 pot for Luis. He was the winner early on, and that's going to put him back into the lead. I'm sure Rock will look back at this hand and know that he played it wrong when he bet the 200 on the river. Nice hand, Luis. Nice hand. But he's going to see that and go, you know what? I probably should have just checked here. Because he doesn't lose that money then. Because he would check. Nick would bet his flush. And then Luis would go all in. And Rock would be able to get away. But he knew as he was making the call for the 143 that he was basically giving Luis $143. So 5 of spades exposed. So huge hand, and all of the table is kind of speechless now, to be honest with you. Rigo with the 6s. Nick back in with the ace-10 of clubs. And it looks like we're going to be going heads up. Pair versus 2 overcards. You can see the pair slightly favored, 52%. Oh, and the 6 getting hit right away for Rigo. I think it's going to go check, check. Rigo looking for quads. All right, Nick turns a straight draw, so Rigo's going to have to bet here either way. It's just a $20 bet, and, ooh, I thought Nick would call with the no, it was a gut shot. It was a gut shot. So that makes sense. Let us know where you're watching from. We are live on the chat. I know on Friday it was a very international tables. We had people watching from South Texas, as they always do, but we had some people watching from the Virgin Islands. We had somebody from the Dominican Republic. So all over the world, people tuning in to see the action here at the Texas Card House. Rock just limping with the queens here, setting the trap. $6 under the gun straddle from Frankie, and he just calls the $6. Oh, Chach is gonna, I was gonna say fall in it, but I don't think he's gonna fall in it all the way. He's just gonna feel it and realize what he did, and he's gonna fold. So Rock should be sizing up here. Let's see how much is in the pot. There's $51 in the pot, so he should make it like 66. He makes it 56. Oh no, Chach's not done yet. And I think Bob might feel priced in here. His queen's no good, his jack's no good, but I think he's going to feel priced in. And he does. So Chach looking for a king or clubs. Bob looking to get really lucky. And the ace coming on the river, that's going to freeze the action. I think it's going to go check through here. And if Rock checks the turn, I think Chach will represent the ace. Rock has the queen of spades. New York Bob turning a double gut shot. A 9 or a king would make a straight for him. Rock does have the queen of spades, so he bets the turn, and everybody will fold. I thought that could have gotten a little dicier. And let's be honest, we like to see it when it gets dicey. So Rock with the highest VPIP in at 55%. Champ on the low side in at 27%. But when you're playing on the stream and you're more than 25%, that is a good number. That indicates a good game. And you can see everybody in at least 27%. Players not scared to put money in the pot with non-premium hands. Jack 10 offsuit, under the gun. I would say that's non-premium, under the gun. And Rock will put in the limp. Rigo with the queen 9, raising it, it's a 15. Chach isn't folding a pocket pair for 15. Marty will make the fold. Luis with the fold. Champ with the 9-8 has the power of the button. Bob with the Jack-7, he's calling for sure. And Frankie has an ace, and he folded. Wow, okay. I think he needed to check his phone. That's why he folded. Queen high flop coming. And the second time somebody hits a set. This time it's Chach. I think he's going to bet it. There's 2 hearts out there. And Rigo flops top pair, so Rigo will put out the bet. And Chach just making the call. Rigo needing a lot of help here. And that's going to be some help where he doesn't lose any more chips. Flush draw gets there, and the ace gets there. So now Rigo hand downgraded a lot. But he's still going to bet. I thought the ace would save him some money, but it does not. What does Rigo do now? Chach, I think he can get $80 from him. And he bet 105. So I thought he could get 80. For sure he cannot get 105. That's what Chach bet on the river. All right, there's who's up, who's down. Luis with that huge pot. That's going to make him the big winner. And Chach, who just won the previous pot, also up. Marty and Champ. So everybody, all of the winners have won at least $500 tonight. And everybody in the red, Rigo 150 in the red, all the way down to Frankie for $895. Everybody else in between. All right, no straddle, and Nick is not in his seat, so his cards will get mucked. Rigo with the suited queen once again. He raised with it last time, and he got burned, so now he's just going to call. Chach with the better queen, the king queen to be exact, will come in for the raise. Luis with the suited ace. Champ with the suited king. Bob with the pair will be making the call as Frankie folds out of turn. Let's see what Rock has. Rock has a hand he's going to muck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Champ is going to lose a big pot. How does this happen? Nut flush versus second nut flush. So Luis played it great last time. He's going to have to raise here. I don't think he's going to raise.
They were like minus 160.
So Champ really wants the board to pair here. This is not looking good for Champ. Is Luis going to check again? Luis checking again. Champ's just been betting small here, wanting to get called, thinking he has the best hand. All right, now Champ put it in 75, and now Luis should raise. Both these players start in the hand with over $1,000, and Champ is going to get hurt here. Oh, Luis just calls. The board pairs. This might save Champ some money. I thought, oh, Luis checks again. Can you imagine if Champ checks behind here? Which would kind of make sense, because what's calling you? Oh, Champ checked behind. What a great check by Champ, as he thought he had the best hand all the way, and then the board paired, and he said, this guy called me on the flop. I bet 75 on the turn. This guy called me again. He has to have a set, which turned into a full house. So he checks behind. Wow, champ, even though he lost that hand, it was the bare minimum. Like I'm saying, Luis should have raised on the turn there, and it cost him. If Luis raises on the turn there, he just might get all of Champ's chips, as Champ's had the second nuts on the turn, which got downgraded once the board paired. What a great check by Champ on the river there. Luis missing out on a lot of money. So Champ thought the board pairing was bad because his opponent boated up on him, but his opponent had him all the way. Mighty with the ace-queen, 3-betting. Rock calling with the 4s. It is the best hand right now. He also is in the small blind, so he has the extra incentive. 4 is going to have to dodge a lot. An ace, a king, a queen, or a 10. And they dodge everything, but Chach does have a flush draw. And Chach is actually favorite right now. Oh, not anymore. Rock boating up. And he's going to check again, and Chach is going to bet his flush draw. Drawn dead. D-E-D, dead. Chach betting 100. Does Rock just call here? Rock just calls. Chach does not want to see a diamond. Okay. I still think that Rock is going to check here, and he does. Chach bets 200, and he's not getting that money back. Rock moves all in. Chach folds immediately. And we do appreciate the immediate fold. I'm sure everybody watching on the stream appreciates that. We know he doesn't have anything. And he knows it, so he folds right away. He made a move. He got caught. He didn't Hollywood. He just put his hand in the muck. We do appreciate that. I think everybody plays with that one player. There's always one player at the table who, for whatever reason, takes a lot longer on decisions than they should. Like, I understand sometimes you have to take longer in decisions. Sometimes you have a decision. Sometimes you do need a tank. I do understand that. But when it happens basically every other hand, then you're just slowing down the game for everybody. King 3. The King Crab will go into the muck. And Rock also did win the bonus. It looks like they bumped it up to $10 now. The small blind game. They started it at $5. And now they're up to $10 as a lot of players are stuck. And they see that as a way to get their money back. All right. 2 players with hearts again. And only 1 heart this time. Ace 4 versus 7 deuce. It'll go check, check. I think it's going to go check, check again. Oh, and the 7 deuce comes from behind on the river. It's going to go check, check again. 7 deuce will get the win. Ooh, little. Looks like one of the cameras froze. So live Straddle announced 10. Still pick up the audio. As it is showing, we are still live on YouTube. All right, here we go. So it looks like the overhead camera is frozen as there is action. You can see the players. Luis was 7-5 making the call. and Frankie with the ace jack. So we saw this earlier. We're on a 15-minute delay. So this happened 15 minutes ago. I can get the problem corrected, but obviously with the 15-minute delay, it's going to take 15 minutes to correct it. All right, so Frankie raised it and took. There are the stats. I am going to refresh the system here to see if that corrects the problem. And if not, then we will restart that camera. All right, so I think we're going to go off the air for about a minute or so. And if that doesn't work, then we will refresh the camera. But we are going to work on the problem here. BRB. Okay, so we did I did refresh my browser, but that is not going to fix the problem, and they're going to have to restart the camera. As you can see, the camera is frozen, so we're not going to be able to do, or we're going to try to do that, but the stream also is scheduled to end at 10. So let me see if this commercial works here.
Into 25,000 playing poker, Texas Card House is proud to present the $100,000 Guaranteed Valley Poker Open from July 25th to August 5th. $200 buy-in. Day 2 on August 5th with the final table streamed worldwide. For more details, visit texascardhouse.com.
So we will just remind everybody about the Valley Poker Open starting tomorrow. And they are going to try to correct the problem with the camera frozen. However, like I said, we're on a 15-minute delay, so that'll put us at 9:30, and the stream is scheduled to end at 10. So for that reason, we're just going to wrap it up early tonight. We do apologize for the technical difficulties, but by the time we get it corrected, our stream is going to be essentially scheduled to end. So don't forget about the Valley Poker Open, but we are wrapping things up early tonight. Thank you.